Hey guys, let's get more news about Steelers, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Depot After Dark, Russell Wilson honors veterans, Tom Moore's new book, McFarland Pancaked. A Steelers Depot daily segment. A quick hit of some Pittsburgh Steelers-related stories that may not require a complete article, but nuggets worth mentioning and passing on to you guys. Throughout his football career, Wilson has had several chances to interact with service members. The Seattle Seahawks hosted an annual USAA Salute to Service NFL boot camp each summer, while the Denver Broncos held a similar event last August. Legendary coach Tom Moore is coming out with a new book on his life and legacy. Releasing September 3rd, it was written in conjunction with Tampa Bay Buccaneers beat writer Rick Stroud. The book covers Moore's career, which included his first NFL job with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Chuck Noll hired him as the team's receivers coach in 1977. He was promoted to offensive coordinator in 1983 and held that position through 1989. Moore, now 85, remains in the NFL as a consultant for the Bucs. A funny moment in the UFL this weekend, though less so if you're former Steelers RB Anthony McFarland. On a carry for his San Antonio Brahmas against the Birmingham Stallions, McFarland ran smack into the backside of OL Aaron Montero. It was a butt fumble caliber moment, though, to McFarland's credit, he hung onto the ball. A play he can laugh about after an 18-9 win, moving the Brahmas to 7-2 on the season. McFarland's gained more playing time in recent weeks, rushing 15 times for 82 yards in the win. Though his body is probably feeling pretty beat up from the defense and his offense. First call, ex-Steelers LB trying to make comeback, Deshaun Watson touts Steelers-Browns rivalry. A former Pittsburgh Steelers linebacker is trying to come back from a serious 2023 injury. Meanwhile, a former Steelers wide receiver is starring in the UFL. Deshaun Watson is touting the Steelers-Browns rivalry. Pitching will certainly be on display in the Pirates-Tigers series. Plus, in the NBA, T.J. McConnell and the Indiana Pacers were swept by the Boston Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals. All that in Monday's first call. While playing for the Steelers last year, Quan Alexander suffered a torn Achilles tendon. Now a free agent, Alexander is trying to work his way back and get signed somewhere. Alexander posted a video Friday about his progress. Alexander had signed just a one-year deal with the Steelers in 2023. So he had to hit the free agent market after suffering that season-ending injury in Week 11. Last year, both Alexander and Cole Holcomb went down with significant injuries that derailed what was looking like a good inside linebacker depth chart. Holcomb still isn't back from his knee injury that he suffered in Week 10 against the Tennessee Titans. Elandon Roberts and Mark Robinson are both back from that group last year. Plus, the Steelers added free agent Patrick Queen and third-round draft choice Peyton Wilson. In 9 games last year, Alexander had 41 tackles, including 5 for a loss, a sack, an interception and a forced fumble. Even though Deshaun Watson has only played 12 games as a Cleveland Brown, the quarterback has quickly absorbed the depth of the Cleveland-Pittsburgh rivalry. On his podcast, QB Unplugged, as noted at SteelersDepot.com, Watson was asked to give his top 4 list of best rivalries in all of sports. The only NFL one he mentioned was Steelers-Browns. Cleveland-Pittsburgh, for sure, Watson said. It's even bigger than Cincinnati. It's not Baltimore. Baltimore is up there, but it ain't as real as Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh leads the all-time series 81-63-1. Watson lost both of the games he started with the Browns in Pittsburgh. He didn't play in either of the games the Steelers played in Cleveland since he joined the team. Jacoby Brissett won the 2022 contest in Cleveland, 29-17. Dorian Thompson-Robinson won last year's game there 13-10. Former Steeler Hakeem Butler is tearing up the UFL. With one regular season week to go, Butler is putting up better receiving numbers than anyone else in the league. The St. Louis Battlehawks pass catcher leads the league with 614 yards and 68.7 yards per game. He's also carrying a 14.4 average per catch. His 5 touchdowns are second best in the UFL. Butler's 43 catches are fourth, and his 62 targets are fifth. The Iowa State product also has an 80-yard score on his resume from former Bengals quarterback A.J. McCarron. Browns QB Deshaun Watson delivers controversial Steelers take. Deshaun Watson views the matchup between the Cleveland Browns and the Pittsburgh Steelers as one of the top sports rivalries. Watson has spent the last 2 seasons with the Browns and has seen enough to understand the disdain between the AFC North rivals. Cleveland's QB expressed his opinion on the most recent edition of his QB Unplugged podcast. Cleveland-Pittsburgh, for sure, Watson said. It's even bigger than Cincinnati. It's not Baltimore. Baltimore is up there, but it ain't as real as Pittsburgh. The other rivalries that made Watson's top 4 included Duke versus North Carolina, college basketball, Georgia versus Florida, college football, and Barcelona versus Real Madrid, soccer. The Browns and Steelers first met in 1950, a game the Browns took 30-17. The sides have met 145 times since then. As division foes, they'll face off twice next season, although they'll have to wait until later in the season. The Browns will host the Steelers in Week 12 and run it back for Week 14 in Pittsburgh. Not everyone was a fan of Watson's assessment of the rivalry between the Steelers and Browns. While it's certainly a big game, the most common argument was that it's been one-sided recently. The Steelers lead the all-time series 81-63-1. That includes a 20-year stretch from 2000 to 2020 where Pittsburgh dominated, winning 36 times against Cleveland with just 5 losses. Watson personally has a 0-3 record against the Steelers, losing twice as a member of the Browns. Well, that's false. Can't have a rivalry when one team dominated the other over a long period, one fan tweeted. The Browns are a poverty franchise. It's the Steelers and Ravens all the way. Other Pittsburgh fans chimed in with similar takes. Browns are the annoying little brother that wants to be relevant. We are for sure their biggest rival, but they ain't ours, another tweet read. Recent history has been skewed heavily in the Steelers' favor. However, the Browns own the most significant win over the last few seasons. Cleveland dominated Pittsburgh 48-37 in a wild card game back in 2021. The Browns racked up a 28-0 lead in the first quarter and cruised to victory, ending Pittsburgh's season. The Ravens are the favorite to win the AFC North next season, coming in at plus 140. The Bengals are next at plus 170, followed by the Browns, plus 500, and Steelers, plus 650. Watson may view the Steelers as a top rival but has also expressed that he has respect for their organization. He praised the Steelers and head coach Mike Tomlin shortly after they signed veteran quarterback Russell Wilson. Pittsburgh is a good organization. It's crazy for me to say it because I'm a Brown. I'm just keeping it 100, Watson said in March. At the end of the day, you have to give respect where respect is due. Tomlin is going to have them boys right. It made sense for Wilson to go there. They are going to compete. Watson is looking to complete his first full season in Cleveland. He's been limited to 6 games in each of his first 2 seasons with the Browns. Watson is coming off shoulder surgery but is expected to be ready to roll by week 1. And you fan? What do you think of the situation of Deshaun Watson? Leave your opinion in the comments.